Welcome everyone to the Walking on Air podcast. We have in Jesse Roman, who is a traumatic brain injury survivor. Jesse, thank you for joining us.
Just wanted to start by just thanking both of you for allowing me and inviting me to be on this podcast. I was born in Garden Grove, lived in Orange County until I was about 6 or 7 years old. Then we moved to Lake Elsinore. We lived there for a few years, currently living in Marietta. My childhood was, it was cool, and gymnastics was my first sport.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't know that.
Did you not? Yeah.
No.
For a total of, I want to say 3 years. Gymnastics with Sega. The Olympics, there's the rings, the parallettes, floor, pommel horse, all that kind of stuff. So that's where I started. One of the most competitive sports. Kids do it and their parents are like, oh, little Johnny's gonna go to the Olympics. She didn't want me to be in that environment, I'll put it that way. Finished Sega, so I ended up going to Twistin U, but it's specifically floor. Did that for 2 seasons. It wasn't competitive at all, it was just fun. I control your body doing jumps. They taught me correct form on
that explains the backflip that you do everywhere.
Yeah.
And is this in elementary school?
Yeah, elementary schools. So she gave me kind of an ultimatum. She's like, so you can either do tackle football or you can stay doing gymnastics. You can't do both. And without hesitation, I'm like, football.
Did any of your other siblings play sports with you, and how many siblings did you have total?
No. So I have 3 younger brothers.
Okay.
I'm the oldest out of my family. So it was 4 boys, and we are 4 of 10 grandsons on my dad's side. No girls. I was very much more athletically inclined than my second oldest brother, Matthew. He's more musically inclined. 6th grade and 7th grade, played tackle football. Transferred schools. 8th grade, I went to a different school that didn't provide tackle football, but they did provide flag. I went to Elsinore High School, freshman and sophomore year. I played tackle football all 4 years, high school. 9th grade and 10th grade at Elsinore. Wanted to transfer out. This is the right school for me. I left Elsinore. I wanted to go to Marietta Valley to play football with my best friend Peyton, but my parents decided to homeschool me through Rancho Christian High School, something that I was not looking forward to. Rancho, at the time, homeschoolers were allowed to participate in football. I was homeschooled and I played football junior and senior year with Rancho Christian High School. Loved every single second of it. So funny, Peyton, he didn't play anything junior year, and then he actually got homeschooled through Rancho his senior year. So it was so cool.
Peyton played with you. You guys were on the same team?
Yeah. So I was the strong safety on the left side, and then Peyton was the strong safety on the right side.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was awesome. Yeah, our senior year, we had the opportunity to play together.
Did any of your siblings end up playing sports with you at all, or were you guys too far apart?
No, we're too far apart. Matthew had no interest in sports.
He's second oldest.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Danny, he's not athletically inclined either.
Oh,
so
man.
he didn't play sports. But Critter, he's extremely athletic as well. So
he's the youngest.
Yeah, he's the youngest. He's the baby. He was at Marietta Valley High School. So he played basketball his freshman and sophomore year, went undefeated sophomore year. Pretty legit.
With you being the oldest, because I'm the oldest too.
I
don't know how different it is between girls and guys being the oldest, but how was it for you? Were you a happy kid all throughout elementary, middle school, high school, or do you feel like your parents were ever harder on you?
Definitely, my parents were pretty.
You've always been kind of go. You're super athletic, you're super intelligent, you see the hard work you put in. It makes sense. I didn't know you were the oldest.
To answer your question, yeah, I don't understand parents, what parents have to go through, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
My mom always tells me, she's like, you're never gonna understand until you have a kid. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. When you have a first kid, trying to figure everything out, you're like, okay, do we do this? Do we do that? So yeah, they were definitely a lot harder on me than they were 3 other siblings.
And did you understand that? Did you resent them? Did you feel like this was a big deal to you growing up? Or
No, I wouldn't say that I would. No, I didn't really resent
Would you say to your siblings, I didn't get treated like you have it so much better than nothing like that? Okay, cool.
Never.
You being the oldest and them treating you differently, and like you said, them being harder on you after the accident, did that change at all?
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%. Yeah. Yeah, it's a process, still is. Matthew and I, second oldest brother, he is my best friend.
Oh,
Gosh, yeah, I love him so much. He's my best friend.
He's a great kid.
Yeah. It was hard when I was younger.
Did you guys ever fight back and forth, you and him? Like,
yeah, it never got physical.
It was just typical brotherly.
Yeah, just brotherly, bashing heads, that kind of thing. After the accident, we definitely grew. Like, everyone's changed in my family now because of what happened to me. For the better, 100% for the better. Like, I have a better relationship with my father. My mother and I was always close with my mom. However, I feel like the accident grew us to be even closer. Yeah, brothers are great. Danny is living in Tennessee right now. He's doing insurance.
Oh, nice.
Plan to start a family out there, or what
I
made him
don't
move out
know.
there?
He's still pretty young.
Tennessee, that's specifically, did he have his eyes set on
Yeah,
that?
because Peyton's dad, he has a company. It's called Orrin Associates, a company which I worked for
I remember
like
that.
a couple months. I would just sit at a desk and just cold call people and like, oh hey, wanting to like see that. What's your insurance? Daniel's in Tennessee and he's been working with them for a while, and I have
Specifically Peyton's dad's company?
Yeah, that's his career from what I see. Like a ridiculously hard worker.
That's so good, so young too, dude. That's rare to see and hard to find.
Yeah.
You know, that
Yeah,
he's
it
already
is.
that established.
Quote unquote board. It's not a board exam, but it's like the official exam. Passed it the first time. Other people, it takes them like 4 or 5 times, and that's something that I feel is established in me and 3 of my siblings. Is just our work ethic is insane. Matthew's working really, really hard. Daniel busted his butt to do what he's doing. Critter's in high school. He's a hard worker for sure. He's getting good grades and practice and stuff. He'll give his best.
Just going back a little bit.
Yeah.
How your relationship with your dad was
Yeah.
when you were younger.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it wasn't as good as my mother and I's.
Yeah.
My parents were hard on me when I was younger. Like, I never resented my dad. I never hated my
I see,
dad.
yeah.
We weren't like this.
Yeah.
Right now we were definitely a lot closer since the accident or
Yeah.
the crash. I don't like using the word accident because I believe everything has happened for a reason, but
Oh,
since
that's
the
deep.
crash, I've established more trust in him. He's established more trust
Nice.
in me.
Absolutely.
I hope. No, I'm just kidding.
It's in the air for him.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Your father, you guys became extremely closer after the accident. Who did you feel like it became the most intensified with between the family? Everybody's relationship just grew closer.
Intensified meaning like who I established.
Like you guys had a better relationship.
Matthew.
And what makes you feel like that is?
We have both grown from a maturity standpoint. I have definitely grown coming out of the rehab center. Matthew is my best friend. He loves music. Like I said, he's musically inclined. I love music as well. My brother, me, and my cousin, we went to this Spirit Box concert. That was the first heavy metal concert that I went to. He didn't want to go in the mosh pit just because, I don't know, fear or like. This is the first time that I went to a concert that had a mosh pit since my crash. Like after my crash, I'm like, okay, I'm not moshing just because I want to protect this, you know. 4th or 5th song, I'm in there, I'm going crazy, I'm moshing. You can't not. During that time, my brain was recovered enough.
We're talking like a year later, 2 years.
No, I would say like a few years. I get in the pit, whatever, and then look to my left. Biggest smile on his face, and he's in there with me, and I'm like, bro, this is so special.
That's a big moment as
That's
a
a
big
good
brother.
bonding moment.
Yeah. That is one thing that my brother and I really, really bond over. Is we've gone to tons of concerts.
Now, growing up, as I know, all pretty good kids. You guys didn't get in trouble in school. Great grades all through school. Elementary, middle, high school.
Yeah.
After high school, Did you start to experiment all partying, or did you party at all in high school?
High school, no, not really. I don't think. But once I graduated high school, yeah.
How
for
old
sure.
were you when you first tried alcohol? It was after high school?
No.
In high school you tried
Yeah.
alcohol.
He said no.
Yeah.
Was it at like a party or?
I don't think so. I honestly don't remember.
But it was in high school though.
I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And so you had done a few things in high school, drinking weed. Did you try weed in high school?
Yeah.
After high school, were you doing those more consistently, or was it more of a
Yeah.
regular before the age of 21?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Palomar Community College, I went there immediately after I graduated high school because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to school, whatever. Took a full load. I had like 5 classes. Yeah, I took a full load there. It was like, okay, cool. You passed the semester. What do I want to do for a career? What do I want to do? I mean, I'm a kid, right? So I'm like, well, I want to have fun.
You were 18?
Around there.
Okay.
Yeah. So after my full load, first semester at Palomar, taking a full load, I was like, okay, and I decided to drop out with a vision to pursue the military, specifically the Navy, to become a Navy SEAL.
You were very strict and set on that for a while.
My best friend Peyton, we were training to be Navy SEALs. We were working out every single day. We went to the beach a few times and just dove. You remember? Yeah, I've been diving with you.
We went out quite a few. La Jolla, Oceanside.
Yeah.
Great times. Every other weekend for a little bit.
Cool.
You ended up going to trade school also, EMT school.
Well, oh yeah, that's where we met.
Was this before the Navy SEAL, the birth of that idea?
So, thank you for bringing this up. My reasoning for going to EMT school, I didn't want to be an EMT. I specifically did EMT school because I wanted to be a medic as a Navy SEAL.
That's funny. The medic that we had too specifically was a military Army medic.
Really?
Ron.
What medic?
Ron.
Oh, yeah.
Ron was.
He was an EMT, though. So he was an EMT when he was
You're
teaching
right.
us.
Yeah.
He was a medic, though, in the military. So his scope of practice was much different on the rig than he was able. Like, he knew so much more than what he was allowed
Which
to
was
do
weird.
from his scope.
With his Army experience, you think it just transfer over?
I just took EMT school to just
Oh, I see.
put my foot, like dip my toes in the water to be like, okay, well, what am I going to be doing?
Yeah.
Now, I know I'm going to get a lot more advanced training in the military, but I just wanted to go to EMT school just to see what it was like. I didn't even enlist. I wanted to get into the military. That was my vision. That was my goal. I wanted to be a medic in the military. So, like, what kind of experience can I get? Oh, I'll just go to EMT school.
How that resulted with you ending up there.
Yeah.
And this was right after you went to Palomar. You went to EMT school.
Yes.
And after EMT school, where are we at then with you?
Studying for the ASVAB to be a Navy SEAL training. Yeah.
At this point, you were 18, 19, and your accident happened later.
No, 20.
20. Okay. Do you want to walk us through the day of the accident, of what you remember before?
In the hot tub in Bear Creek with Peyton, he was about to get shipped out. Like, he was about to go.
Oh, he enlisted.
Yeah. He enlisted. He got a good enough score on his ASVAB. I took the ASVAB. I passed it, but I was 1 point away from qualifying.
Really?
For Navy SEALs. Like, if I would have got 1 point more, then I would have been going to.
That's crazy.
But I didn't. Peyton, on the other hand, he passed, and he was SWCC, so it's SWCC, Special Warfare Combatant Crewman. He didn't become a SEAL. He went to SWCC, right? Which is just as intense and just as rigorous as SEAL training. Is different to a certain extent, but it's still insane. He was going, and we went to the hot tub just to chill, and we're best friends, so we're just hanging out, right? So I remember that. I remember going to the hot tub with him. He was like, yeah, I'm going. And I told him, I was like, I'm right behind you. Like, I'll be leaving in probably like maybe a month when I pass this ASVAB, maybe a little less than a month. Was the last thing that I remember until I woke up in an ambulance. In a hot tub with Peyton, and then I closed my eyes, opened them again, and I'm in an ambulance. Yeah, that was a trip. In the ambulance, I was laying down on the gurney. I was talking to the EMTs and the paramedics. It was so strange because I knew exactly where I was when we went to EMT school. I went on a couple ride outs, so I was very, very familiar with the environment of where I was, but I didn't feel any pain. I was talking to him, and then I remember thinking something really, really bad happened because I'm not supposed to be here. And then I conked back out again. During the span of the hot tub versus, to the ambulance, a span of 3 weeks had passed. So apparently, I don't remember any of this, and I'm so glad that I don't. So I end the hot tub, and then I get in my old, beater 95 Chevy of a truck, and then I drove down to Oceanside to hang out with my friend.
We're on what you remember last from the
Yeah.
accident. You were talking about
Going to see Venom.
Yes.
with Rihanna.
We saw Venom. Mind you, this is just erased permanently from my memory. I only know from what Rihanna told me, and then from what my parents have told me. I went to see Venom, and then we went to the beach. Rihanna said she said that we sat on the lifeguard tower and just hung out talking. I'm sure we went and walked, waded in the water a little bit, maybe walked on the pier, said our goodbyes, and then I started driving home around 9 or 10. I was taking the 76 highway, and then I guess out of nowhere, the biggest rainfall of the entire year, just out of nowhere, just started pouring. My tires, I was a kid. I did not take care of my truck.
No.
I just filled up gas and did the whole, gas is good. Oh, okay, cool. I don't think I changed my oil one time.
Really?
In my old truck. I don't believe so. No, I can't remember a time ever changing my oil. But see, my Spanish is coming out.
Pero
See, it started pouring down rain, and then did not take care of my truck at all. That being said, tires were not up to par. They were, balding. I hydroplaned, flew off the side of the road, actually took out a sign, green signs. They're like, oh, Murrieta in 2 miles. I completely just
leveled the sign.
Leveled it. Rolled a couple times, I think twice. Rolled twice into a ditch, and then it was like this on my left side. That's how it was positioned. Wheels still spinning.
Flipped 180, or was it on its side?
Made 2 full
Rolled.
rotations.
Okay.
Twice, and then landed on my left side.
you said this was on the 76, right?
Yeah, by where Daniel's Market is, adjacent to Daniel's Market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I guess there's no other logical way that I could have been rescued. My educational guess for how I got rescued: the person behind me saw me go off, and they're like, "Oh, that's not good." And then they called 911, like, "Hey, there was a crash, 76 by Daniel's Market," that kind of thing. The fire department came, scope it out, and they were looking, and then they're like, "We can't see anything. Nothing happened here." They almost called it in as a could not locate, but then one of the firemen saw the sign. He was like, "Hey, that's not supposed to be there. Let's just check." Look over the ledge into the ditch, and there I was. And they're like, "Oh, there he is."
Yeah.
Extricated me out of my truck using the jaws of life to rip open my door. Got it done within 10 minutes.
And they couldn't see
wow.
because it was raining terribly
Exactly.
this night.
Yeah, and it was pitch black.
You're off the road on the 76 where
yeah.
there's no light.
Well,
So trying to be located would be extremely difficult. Like you said, they almost left.
correct. Yeah, the only really lights were the store. There's a gas station there, and then
On the other side.
Yeah, and the stoplights.
It's still so dark.
Yeah,
over
that's
there.
still insanely
crazy.
dark. Rushed me to a trauma center where I spent about 2 weeks in trauma center. I believe the doctors spent 100 minutes managing my life. I was in a coma for about a week, partially medically induced, partially just because I was jacked up. Then I had to learn. Yeah, stuff happened in the trauma center.
These events happening with the fire department, with driving home.
Yeah.
Specifically and only from other people telling
For
you
sure.
this.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the last thing you remember was 3 weeks prior to
Correct.
your accident was in the hot tub with
Yeah.
Peyton.
Correct, yeah.
You lost 3 weeks of memory from that.
Yeah, and I'm so glad. I do not want to remember any of that.
The accident happened. You were in the coma for a week.
Once I was stable enough to start going through rehabilitation, they sent me to a rehab center in Palomar Rehabilitation Center in San Marcos. I can't
That was the
remember.
one that I visited you at, right?
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah, you
was
can't visit me.
specifically rehab.
Yeah, ambulance. Remember, my first memory from the hot tub was the ambulance. Like waking up with like, what is going on? And then I conked out. My second memory after the hot tub. So my first memory after the ambulance. You following? That it was, I was laying down in a hospital bed. I opened my eyes, whatever, and this dark figure was, say dark figure like a demon. No, it was this
A
person.
nurse or a doctor.
Yeah, this, dark, like he was black. So this black person, black nurse, doctor, getting me comfortable, putting a blanket over me, whatever. And I was like, I opened my eyes and he was, and that was for like 10 seconds, and then I closed my eyes again.
Did you have any feeling in that moment?
No.
As in, like, what the hell?
No.
Okay.
I just opened my eyes. I was like, oh, what?
You're just like, I need to go back to sleep.
Yeah. Rehab center, that's a blur. Still is, always will be, just because my brain was traumatized. Like, my neurological pathways were so out of whack.
What's interesting
Very
too
little.
is you said you remembered talking in the ambulance too. Probably couldn't actually say anything from the accident, but have some events that I thought had happened when I had a major surgery in the times that they were really just dreams. So you woke up in the ambulance. This was after the accident, like immediately after.
Not immediately after 3 weeks after that, the ambulance that took me from the trauma center to the rehab center, that is the ambulance. My only thought in the ambulance, well, actually, so I remembered something bad happened because I'm not supposed to be here. Another one was when I woke up in the rehabilitation center. You ready for me to blow your guys' minds? So you said something about dreams. In the ambulance, I thought, oh yeah, we're going to get Chick-fil-A, right? So that's what I thought. I thought that we were going to get Chick-fil-A in the ambulance.
My God.
Yeah, I was hungry. Oh, and by the way, so within that 3 weeks that I don't remember, I was supposed to go see Hippie Sabotage.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I was supposed to go
remember
see Hippie Sabotage with.
We were supposed to see that.
Were you supposed to see it with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
That was at the it was at an event at one of the San Diego hotels. Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah,
Never have.
last time I saw, I've seen them like 4 or 5 times. Last time I saw them was I think 2 years ago.
Our favorite artist was Hippie Sabotage. We had gone to a show with Shoddy, if you remember Shoddy, and Tanner.
Tanner? I don't remember ever seeing going to a rave with Tanner.
He was kind of in and out though, so I mean,
I don't remember seeing him.
I'm not surprised because he was seeing. If you remember Rihanna's friends.
Tanner was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Yeah, I know.
You're
It was
joking.
kind of a low key. It was actually at the same time as you were seeing Rihanna,
That's a trip.
right?
I would never would have thought that.
So you have the memory of the hot tub 3 weeks before the accident.
Mhm.
The accident happens. Then your next memory is another 3 weeks later
Yeah.
in the ambulance,
Uh-huh.
feeling like you're getting Chick-fil-A. You shouldn't be there. And this is 3 weeks after you're being transported from the
Right.
rehab
Mhm.
or the trauma center to the rehab.
Yeah, and then in rehab, I had to learn how to walk again. I had to learn how to speak again. Well, not speak. Well, okay, I knew how to talk, but I had to go through speech therapy.
Sentences.
So I was sentences, and like there's no possible way like this conversation that we're having right now, not a shot. Like I could have lasted maybe 10 minutes. When I got released from the hospital and I went home, I couldn't hold a solid conversation for about 10 minutes. Just because my brain was like, nope, we're done. Like we're going to sleep.
So it was could you understand what people were saying to you though, or you just couldn't process saying a full sentence basically?
Well,
You had
I
to
couldn't really
relearn-
process saying a few sentences in a row. I understood what people were talking, what people were telling me, but I didn't understand what people were telling me because I was like, wait, what? Oh, 1000%.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what happened to me? Like, what did I go through? Like, I actually have a couple things that I want to say that'll just blow your guys' mind. Hippie Sabotage, but I didn't get to see them because I was dead. I remember distinctly. So I'm in the trauma center. I'm like in bed a few days after I get to the rehab center. So I'm sleeping. It's nighttime. And then Kevin, he came into my room, bro. Hippie Sabotage came into my room. He's talking to me. We're actually going to do the concert in the hospital. We want you to help us out. I'm following Kevin, and then he puts me at the soundboard. And he's like, all right, though. He's like, yeah. He's like, go for it. Like, you're doing the show with us. So I performed a concert with Hippie Sabotage. I truly believe that happened. I was telling my parents about it. I'm like, Hippie Sabotage came. And, like I was helping them with the soundboard. And then Mom was like, no, dude. No, it didn't. That was a confabulation. Like,
Confabulation, that's a perfect way to basically explain that someone who creates these elaborate stories of something that doesn't actually happen.
1000%.
But it's a disorder of, not in this case, you actually believed that it was happening.
1000%.
And I remember your mom telling me, because when I came to see you at the hospital, there was a lot of things that I had to be filled in on your status of, one, things that were happening, of trying not to, what I should acknowledge with you, basically.
Yeah.
To not really play into, if you were to say something that basically didn't happen, or if who my name is, just correct you. You did remember my name, and I was like, okay, that's cool, great. I don't have to be like, oh, it's Blake. That just shows how far you had to really come. Talking about things of me telling you a story of what happened, now you understand what really happened, with things. And but really, of course, understanding that. It's just so crazy. And you have to understand, too, with the Hippie Sabotage thing, we were obsessed with Hippie Sabotage, was the thing with that. We were such big fans of Hippie Sabotage. So to have that dream in that time was, perfectly aligned with how much we were into them. So I'm not surprised that happened.
Yeah.
So how long were you in the rehab for rehabbing? We talking a month, 3 months? You were ripped at this time too. When you went into the accident, you were in the best shape ever. You could do absolutely anything. You could hit a backflip anywhere. Mm-hmm. You were working out all the time. So you had to literally learn how to walk in there. How was that? What was that like?
It was a trip. So I was in a wheelchair for a while. Yeah. I remember when I start to become a little bit more stable, we would do gait training. So basically what that means is one of the PTs, physical therapists, would come in, like, all right, dude, you ready to walk? I'm like, yeah, let's go. So they would have a gait belt around me, so a belt around my waist, so as security, and they were helping me walk, So if I fell down, they'd be like, nope. Or if I buckled, they wouldn't allow me to fall. They had me secured. So Ethan,
great memory,
was one of the PTs that I worked with. He was the guy that helped me walk again. He was like, yeah, man, the first time that we did gait training, you were falling all over the place. I had to catch you 20 different times. Second time I walked, you buckled twice. You had some major improvements in freaking a week or a few days. So yeah, it's awesome that you only buckled twice.
You're improving fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I improved really fast.
Resilient. What were the injuries you had besides head trauma?
Mm-hmm.
Because you said you couldn't walk, so was that just from head trauma or what?
The injuries that I sustained was brain injury. I had both temporal bones, lobes caved in about 2 millimeters, I think. Specifically with the brain, my brain was it swelled up, and so it was putting a lot of pressure onto my skull. Mm-hmm. So what they had to do was, this was back in the trauma center, they had to drill a hole into my skull to relieve some of the pressure. So they did exploratory surgery onto my left eye to find out what the heck was going on, because my eye was so swollen.
Wait, what'd they find in your eye socket? Because you said they did exploratory surgery.
Yeah.
Right.
So the optic nerve that is behind the eyeball, that's dead. The amount of impact that my head made onto the truck, that just crushed the optic nerve inside of my eye. I am blind, but I'm half blind. I cannot see out of my left eye.
So you can only see out of your right eye.
Correct.
Right now. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That was extremely, it is hard, but that was extremely hard to kind of come to terms with and accept. It took me a few years to adapt to having monocular vision. Cover your eye and then just live for 10 minutes. It's hard.
I used to do that when I was a kid.
Really?
I used to test it out and walk around for hours like that.
Yeah.
What ways emotionally did it impact you? Were you super sad all the time? Or?
Yeah, for sure. So when I got released from the hospital. I actually got released on January 8th,
Oh,
which is my birthday.
Oh, yeah, it's your birthday.
Yeah. Best birthday present I've ever received and ever will receive was getting released from the hospital. Like, nothing will ever compare to that, ever.
Wow, and your accident happened in November.
November 29th, 2018. Yeah, they did a lot of legwork to get me released on my birthday. For the first month, I was just happy to be alive. Like, I was like that. I was celebrating. That's like the gratitude phase. There are 4 steps to trauma.
Yeah.
I'll take you through them quickly. But yeah, first phase was like just gratitude. And like, I'm so thankful to be alive. The second phase was anger. So I was just pissed off at everything. Happened like, I don't know, 3 months, something like that. Mad at God that he allowed this to happen.
Mad at the world.
Yeah, mad at the world, mad at God. Like, he allowed this to happen to me. So there are a lot of people that are like, why me?
Yeah.
Like, why me? Why did this happen to me? But in my circumstance, I was like, why not me? Like, why not? Why not? Like, why not the military? Like, why not Navy SEALs? Like, I trained so hard for this. I worked a couple years for this. Like, it was my dream. That's what I wanted. Why not? Like, why did you take this away from me? So that's when I was really, really angry with God, angry with the world. And then the third phase was depression. So after I stopped being so angry all the time, I was just slumped. I was like, dude, like, I don't want to try anymore.
Did you isolate?
You know? Yeah.
Motivation was like a little lower than prior.
Rock bottom.
Yeah.
Like, I was at rock bottom for sure. I was depressed for quite a while, actually. But then the next phase is acceptance. So after I came out of the depression phase, I was just like, okay.
And how long did each one of these last?
I don't remember necessarily. It's different for everyone. Every injury is different. Every brain injury is different. So my brain injury is completely different than Sally's brain injury. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, once I accepted it, I was like, okay, I'm never gonna be able to see out of my left eye ever again. I'm not gonna go into the Navy. I'm not gonna become a SEAL.
And you can't even tell that you are.
Yeah, I mean, my eye
blind in
tracks
your left eye.
pretty well. Thank you. But yeah, my eye tracks.
Like I
she
said,
didn't even know.
I completely forgot. Like, I think he maybe told me once.
Yeah.
But other than that, nobody notices, I'm telling you.
You had a patch in a picture. If you remember, you used to wear the patch.
Yeah, I still do when I go to concerts.
And that's why I was like, well, he actually can't see. Remember? I'm like, that's why he's not your...
Oh!
Yeah. So...
Oh, you thought I was just trying to be cool, like wearing a patch?
No, I don't know, bro. Like...
But yeah, so the acceptance phase happened. I was like, okay, I mean, I just gotta live with it and just deal with it.
You gotta learn to adapt.
Yeah. It's a minimum of 2 years to fully recover from a brain injury. It took me a little bit longer. It took me about like 3.5 years.
Really? The average is 2?
Around there, yeah. Around 2 years, the average. 3.5 years, I was like, okay, the majority of my recovery is done. Like, the hard stuff is done. Now it's time to live.
It's only up from there.
Yeah.
And which ways were you limited in this time up until the 3.5 years? Like, you still couldn't drive.
I couldn't drive for a year. So I was Ubering everywhere. My first time I went to driver's school. I had to relearn how to drive, pretty much.
Did you completely forget?
No.
Or was it just
it was terrifying.
How you felt sitting in the driver's seat again?
So scary.
Yeah.
I was super scared to drive for my first few times driving. You have to take the driver's test, of course, to get your license. So my first time I took that, I failed because I was going too slow. Like, we were at Hemet, and I was going like like 5 miles an hour in a 25 mile an hour zone.
Man, they should cut you a break.
Exaggeration,
Yeah.
but
Come on.
driving too slow is
Yeah,
dangerous.
you can get pulled over for that,
Definitely.
but the circumstances.
that was a big time exaggeration, but in a 40, I was going like 30.
Dude, it took
That's
me
not that
3
bad.
times to pass my.
Took you
This
3
lady
times?
would not pass me, dude.
My dad drove me, and then we failed. Let's go celebrate. I actually took a driver's test after crashing my truck. Like I had the opportunity.
Yeah, it's a big step
to
for you
take
even
a driver's
to sit
test.
in that seat.
Yeah, we drove back to Temecula and watched 1917. Then I had to wait like a couple months or whatever to take it again. And my second time I took it, when I finished, I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, that was so much better. Like, here you go. There's your license. So not should give me my license right there, but I passed.
Yeah.
Started driving. Circling back to my anger phase and being angry at God and stuff, God was preparing me to deal with this. I went to go back to the hospital, the trauma center, and I visited the doctors who saved me. One of the doctors literally looked me in my eyes, and she was like, yeah, you weren't gonna make it. You were dead. Like every single one of us did not believe.
I remember that.
You
Really?
that you would make it. Yeah, we're gonna die right then and there. But the doctors have an oath that they made. It's like no matter who the person is, like they could be, Hitler, 99.9% chance of dying. They're still gonna try their best. I still talk to my nurse, my favorite nurse. Her name's Stephanie. Remember when I got extricated out with the jaws of life? When I got released from the hospital, it was like a month later, I went and I visited those firemen who saved my life, and I held the jaws of life that they pried out.
No
They
way.
pried
Oh, you
out.
did?
I
Oh,
held
that's
them. I held
badass.
them, yeah.
You said, I'm taking control
That's
now.
super badass, dude.
Yeah. God is incredible. Like, he took me through all of this. I have a traumatic brain injury. I was involved in a car crash that should have killed me. Percentage of traumatic brain injury at my stage, if you're familiar with the Glasgow Coma Scale, do you remember that actually from EMT school?
Yeah.
Your max score is a 20.
That's the worst?
The best.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the best.
The best.
Oh, okay.
I was at a 5. If you're at a 3, like you're
Like
most
brain dead?
Yeah, just dead, no longer alive. I think 5, it's like 70% like mortality rate. Like God was so gracious. All that working out that we did, all the working out that I was doing, mental, tenacity that I had was preparing me for this. He deserves everything. Like I wouldn't be here without him. I got in that crash, shouldn't be able to do anything, and then what I did was I went back to school
How far after?
to train.
After your
A
accident?
year, 2 years, something like that. I went back to school, went back to Palomar, started just chipping away at my general ed. I am currently in an accelerated physical therapy assistant program. Never would have thought that I would be able to take this program and doing well. It's 18 months. It's accelerated. I'm not going to nerd out on you guys, even though I want to, but human body, our nervous system. Let me give you an example. Part of what I went through when I was recovering for over a year when I was home, when your foot falls asleep?
Yeah.
So that sensation was my entire left side. From my foot all the way down, radiating through my fingers. It didn't hurt, but I was just like, it was like zzz. That happened for a year. I was healed enough towards like it vanished. I haven't had that type of sensation for a long time. Mostly in my upper extremity. So everyone knows in my program that what I went through. I don't talk about it, but if it comes up and if they ask about it, I'm like, yeah. Like I'm very, very open. So that zzz, right, like that falling asleep, that part of my brain was damaged. I was asking my anatomy professor about that. I was like, why is that? Like, we're in the nervous system right now. So I was like, we were learning about the brain and all the things. Was a certain area of my brain damaged? She's like, yeah, absolutely. You don't belong here. The reason that it's not like, you're like, oh, like, get this off me. Like, it's so annoying. It's because that part of your brain is conditioned enough to handle it.
Your sensory.
Exactly. Like I said, our nervous system is so complex. Your hair is supposed to be annoying the crap out of you right now, like draped over your shoulders. Like you're not supposed to, like
I usually
it's
do
supposed
have
to
it
be
back.
so annoying. But it's supposed to feel like it's not.
It does get annoying though. So I'm very sensory type. Like
Yeah.
things will I'll get mad. So I can only imagine how you felt. Do you still have feeling though, or was it just tingling? Oh, okay. On your left side,
Like
was
you could
it
still
numb?
move it when this was going on?
Yeah, I could still move it. I
okay.
could still do pull-ups.
Like
I
you
could
could
still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could still
Feeling
do
was just
push-ups.
there.
I could still do
Oh,
everything.
I
It was
see,
just
okay.
my foot was like zzz. That part of the brain was damaged. However, once it started to get better, that part of my brain was healed enough to be able to handle that stimulation from the nervous system.
That took 4 years?
No, so that took about a year and a half. Overall picture of me, like oh no, I'm not ready yet. Like after 3.5, 4 years, I was like, okay, I'm ready. One thing that I'm very, very proud of within myself is that ever since I went back to school with a traumatic brain injury, I have not failed a single class. I passed every single class that
There you
I've
go.
been.
That's amazing.
There you go.
3rd semester right now?
Fourth.
4th semester. Hey, move your microphone a little closer to you. Jesse, yours is perfect right there.
Okay.
So now you're in a program that is what exactly?
Physical therapist assistant program, a PTA program. Physical therapist assistant does, so a PT is right here, and the amount of responsibilities and things that they can perform. A physical therapist assistant can't perform an evaluation, can't perform manipulations, can't write a progress note, can't write a plan of care, can't discharge a patient from therapy. They can still do a bunch of interventions like, exercises and stretching and soft tissue mobilizations and modalities and all different things that one sees when you go to physical therapy. Like oh, I could put you on a hot pack, take you through external rotations with a TheraBand. I can gastrocnemius stress, so like a calf stretch. Pretty much, I can work on your dorsiflexors or your shins.
And that's what you're doing,
Yeah,
physical
that's what I'm
therapy
doing.
assistant.
Mhm.
Next step up obviously would be physical therapist from a physical therapist assistant.
Correct.
So is that another 18 months of school, or how does that?
No, that's a lot longer. That's like 6 years.
In your position that you were in the hospital and rehab, is that basically what you would be doing? How they helped you? You would now be doing that for others?
Yeah. I would be doing the similar things.
That's ironic.
I just wouldn't be able to perform some of the things that a physical therapist is able to do within their scope of practice. So I can't perform an evaluation. I can't discharge a patient. What I can do is I can write daily notes on so the physical therapist makes the plan of care, or the physical therapist makes specific exercises that the patient can do or that would help them. The physical therapist then gives the plan of care or exercise program to me. I look over it, I'm like, okay, we're doing XYZ, and I take the patient through those different interventions.
And is that considered a physical therapist? 1, a doctor, and 2, is that a master's or a PhD or?
A physical therapist is a doctor, so they get their doctorate in physical therapy, yes. I'm going to achieve my licensure and become a licensed physical therapist assistant. I can then further my education by going to a bachelor's program that is provided by my school.
Is that what you want to do?
I want to, however, it's like 2 years of school. Main goal, my main focus, get my license as a PTA, pass my board exam, be working as a physical therapist assistant.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my career.
How much time left now?
I graduate September of this year.
Wow, that's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's gone by like that. Like, I remember my first day.
Do they help you look for jobs? How does that work?
I
Is it
still
all
have
yourself?
to figure that out. Everything's about connections. Don't want to work in an outpatient therapy clinic, so the therapy that I ended on, if you drive 7 minutes that way, there's all-star physical therapy, which is the therapy that I did outpatient. I don't really want to work in that type of environment because it's so fast-paced. Literally be seeing a patient for like 30 minutes and like, okay, all right, you're good. And then, the next one, okay, you're good. Sometimes I'll be working with 2 patients, 3 patients in a row, like simultaneously. You really have to be good at your time management skills. I'm a very one-on-one oriented. I would much rather work in a hospital where you get an hour to work with 1 patient other than having 3 patients at the same time who have the potential to sue you. I'm like, yeah, no.
It's kind of off of this topic, but do you feel any personality changes from being a kid, then, you know, middle school, high school, and then after your accident? Or do you feel like you are the same person but stronger?
Great question.
Yes. Wait.
Like,
So I am very much Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
Like before my crash, I mean, you know, like before my crash, I was very, you know, determined, athletic, had the same personality. So yes, I haven't gone through any drastic personality changes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still very much me. Like I was able to, you know, the Lord was gracious enough to spare me.
Yeah, you obviously have
yeah.
a lot of gratitude still.
Of course, I have the tendency to perseverate a lot, and that is something that was horrible out of recovery and something that I've really had to work on and manage. I still have a tough time managing it, but it's rare. Bad episodes will maybe come 2 times a year.
perseverate. What does that lead to in these episodes?
Let me define it first. So perseveration is the repetition of a negative memory, thought, action, even. Like I remember one time, this is kind of funny. I would always look out my window, like go to the front door and just look out the window, and then 5 minutes later, look out the window. 30 seconds later, look out the window.
Are you conscious, or does it just kind of take over?
No,
is it like disassociating?
doing something without a reason.
Kind of like OCD? Repetitively doing something without
Sounds like a
telling
mix of the
yourself to
two.
do
It
it.
can be.
Not like you have OCD, but
I have a little bit of OCD, just
Okay.
a little bit, just a touch of OCD.
it
like,
just was different though.
It's so much different.
Right after the crash, you're
Yeah.
figuring yourself out again.
Mhm.
That definitely makes sense. Going and doing something randomly when.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. If a big thing happens, so that part of my brain that perseverates, like that, like repeats things, that's damaged. So I do have the tendency. Yeah. So I do have the tendency to like go over it and over it again.
Do you ever forget what you had done previously, or like, and that's why you do it again, or you just automatically do it?
No, it just happens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just do it. So
It sounds like it just takes over.
yeah. Like I have to catch it. Like if I feel myself perseverating, I'm like, I need to find my out.
You need distraction.
Yeah, so roll a snowball down the hill, small snowball, bigger and bigger, keeps rolling, and there comes a point where this snowball has to stop because it's gonna do some damage.
Yeah.
Do you feel like manic in these times at all? Impulsive, aggressive, or what are your emotions in this time? And not in a bad way, aggressive,
No, I know.
but like,
the bigger it gets, yeah, the more kind of out of control I could become. It's just like, this needs to stop, and I just freak out, you know.
do you have a lot better control over it now, I would imagine, compared to when you...
100%. Yeah, so much.
Over time, is that something that always stays with you, or...
That's actually a question that I've asked myself. I don't ask myself all the time, because that in itself is a form of perseveration. Like,
Yeah, you don't
what
want
about
to trap
this? What
yourself
about-
in that.
I get so much better now. I think that it will stay with me for the rest of my life. It's just a matter of managing it.
Mhm.
It's hard, dude. I
No,
have
that
trouble
makes perfect
explaining these
sense.
things sometimes just because
You're explaining it well, though.
Oh, thank you. Even like some of the other things, I don't know the science behind it. I just know that it happens, and these are the strategies that I've developed in order to best combat them.
Already managed it in a short time. How severe your crash was.
November
2018.
29, 2018.
Oh, I had the 9 and the 8 mixed up
Yeah,
on him.
straight.
So
So,
it's
like-
been 7 years.
November 2019, November 2020,
I can't
November
math.
21.
Oh, wow.
8, yeah.
Down the road with this happening, what are your concerns? Like you said, persevering is a concern to just kind of keep in mind. Are there any other concerns that you have specifically with this? Or?
Perseveration is, let me rephrase that. It's not who I am. This is part of what I deal with, and I need to continue to be proactive. Thank you. Proactive in managing this, even though it's very, very small.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not even really a concern to you. It's just like,
no,
there.
but it starts to rise up and up and up. I'm like, get back down there, and it's like, okay.
Being 3 years clean this May, from fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I'm really concerned with every day. It's there, and it's important to be aware of it, because sometimes it could just literally pop up whenever for something that's not really there, but it is, and you just have to kind of be aware of it. Like you said, that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
Until, of course, it happens, and then, like you said, you have measures that you can take.
Correct. Yeah.
When I think about it, I can taste it. I can remember the feeling. Like, that can even get me high, just remembering it. But I'm not worried about ever actually doing it again. It's a crazy thing to think about, but it's just something to be aware of, like
Definitely.
You don't want to be ignorant and being like, oh, it's never going to happen again. I think that's the problem with anything. Yeah, with anything of like, oh, I got this. Like, it's just something to keep in mind and be aware of, and that's all you can do. School right now, and you finishing in September, that's a pretty big stepping stone.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you feel pretty accomplished as a person now?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Good, you should feel that way.
Yeah, because
Honestly.
you've come a long way, dude, and we'll have to get some pictures of either before
I sent you
maybe
that
after.
picture of me on the crowd, like when I went to the last concert, and they were like lifting me up, and I was
Oh
like,
my
that.
god,
Wasn't that a sick picture?
That was so sick. He's crowd surfing in this. Yeah, dude, that's such a. We'll have to add that in there.
The band posted that on their Instagram.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
That's right.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my gosh.
Nice
Cute.
professional ass photo.
That's cute.
You have the patch on too.
Oh, dude, yeah. The patch comes with me in every concert.
That's
Since we're speaking of concerts, social gatherings,
a great question. I see where
have
you're going with this.
you how are social gatherings for you now compared to before? Anxiety, anything?
Yeah. No, they're good now. So, yeah, thank you for asking that. When I was when I was fresh out of recovery, I couldn't eat. Like, I was going to church, and I could not sit in the church service, and like I was like I can't handle this. And so, even though it wasn't a lot of stimulation, it's just the pastor preaching, I was like, dude, there's so many people here, like I cannot. So I would leave.
Was it claustrophobia or just
no,
fear
not really,
of...
not claustrophobia. Just like, this is just overstimulation.
Yeah.
Like, get some fresh air and stuff. Just be like in more of an open space. I can see why you think it is kind of like considered to be claustrophobic. That might play a little part in what it is, but even like, and to get back to your question, it's better now. Like that picture, like that picture. Just like, I could do that.
Yeah.
Like, I can go to concerts. I can do all that stuff. There are times. So actually, with concerts, there are times that the music gets to be pretty loud, and there's a lot of people. I'm like, okay, I told my brother, I'm gonna go outside, get some fresh air real quick, then spend the 10 minutes outside. I'm like, whew, like, take some deep breaths.
Which is normal too. I mean, anybody would.
Just that feeling of like, I need to get out of here. Has it heightened since before your accident, or have you feel like
Okay. Yeah. What's up, dude? But yeah, that is like the overstimulation is definitely a part of what I still go through at certain times. It's a lot more diminished. It's a lot less than now. Like, I can handle a lot more now. But just like with the perseveration, like, it comes up every once in a while. I'm like, okay, I just gotta go outside and like be by myself for like a few minutes, take a few deep breaths, get some fresh air, feel the wind on my face. It's not horrible though.
Yeah, it's just funny too, because it's like, even when we go to festivals, and I mean, there's some bass, dude, that's so obnoxious that it's like, get me the hell out of here.
I wear earplugs. I wear earplugs.
Earplugs and not getting too close, or sometimes even in the back, and you can feel the bass in your chest. And I mean, so it's like normal to even
feel in your throat, like,
dude,
feeling in the bloodstream. It's deep.
Yeah. That picture I showed you when I was crowd surfing, I made eye contact with the lead singer, and we both pointed at each other. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I met Kevin from Maybe I'm not in the hospital. Like, that was a confabulation, but I actually met Kevin. Remember that you see me for my birthday?
Yeah.
That was a great birthday.
Yeah. Where was that?
For that observatory in San Diego.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that venue.
Yeah.
You said that you wear a patch suit to every concert.
Yeah, it's just sick. It's a nice little accessory.
I thought you wore it, like, I don't know, for some other reason.
No, it's sick.
Oh, okay.
It is bad, but that's the only time that you wear it? Or, like,
I'll wear it to special occasions.
Like, it just depends. It's just
big.
random.
It depends. Like, I mean, every concert's a big occasion for me because it increases your lifespan.
Because I remember you used to wear it, of course, like,
Thank you.
pretty often. pretty often when you after you're out. Like
that's
you were wearing it full
that
time.
that's because I thought it was a part of me.
Okay.
That was when I was wearing my patch
Oh.
full time every single day, everywhere.
You
I
felt like
went,
you had to.
I had to. Like I wore it
Yeah,
to
because you don't have to.
No,
Like,
I wore it to school. I wore it to church. I wore it going out
okay.
to grocery stores. I wore it with my friends. I wore it everywhere, and for like I don't know, like a year or so.
It was a while, yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago.
What happened with that? Yeah,
I was like, I don't need this. This doesn't. I did.
It was just
I
a mental
stopped.
shift.
I stopped giving my mind permission to say that this is who you are.
There you
This
go.
is who you are.
You hear that, people? You
Yeah,
hear
that's
that?
pretty
Yes.
badass.
Learn
Yeah.
from that.
That's a badass
So-
moment, dude.
Yeah.
As now you view it as like it's sick, it's badass. Before, like you said, you were wearing it because you felt like you had to.
Yeah.
What a great
It was
shift.
a part of you.
Yeah.
And-
That is really good meaning.
Yeah, that is. I love
Yeah.
that.
Thank you.
If you could do one thing in life, what would it be? If God came to you and was like, what is your one soul wish? I will give it to you. What would it be?
God came down and asked me to one wish,
You could have a
So-
family, you could have money, you could go anywhere.
just to honor Him and live by example.
Okay. All right. What is the question that you want to leave for the next guest
Oh,
for
geez,
us
I
to
don't know where
ask?
we're
What would
going
your
here.
question be? Yeah, you won't know who it is. I can tell you after, of course, he
Okay.
gets it. But
So one question that I ask every single person: what are your top 5 movies?
okay.
There you go.
Top 5 movies, babe.
Yeah.
What advice would you give somebody if they were to have this occur to them as well?
Take it slow.
Take it slow.
Take it
It's a good
slow.
one.
Life's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
The penicillin could not get the illin to stop. Amoxicillin's just not real enough.
Oh yeah. Dang, it took me a while. Dang.
I
Did
don't
you
get
get
it.
that?
Dang. Yeah, I
I
got
don't
that on the
get it.
second one.
Lyrics.
From where?
Eminem lyrics.
Oh.
Oh, one thing I wanted to say that I feel that 100% has been a huge instrument into how well that I've recovered is journaling. I started journaling the beginning of 2020, right before the pandemic hit, actually. Since 2020, I've written in a total of 10 different journals.
Wow.
Talking to yourself, but you're getting words
You're
out
filtering
there.
it out,
Exactly. Typing your notes, doing it from an automated standpoint, it utilizes 5 different pathways in your brain. Writing, pen on paper, utilizes 17. Like if you're depressed or you're stressed out, writing it out is a way to get things out of yourself, and you feel so much better after you're done. It can be tiring for sure because you're working out your brain, and eventually you're gonna get tired. Hundreds of times where I've been writing and I'm like, okay, I'm done. That was a good workout. You
That's
know,
good though. It's
So,
decompressing you.
absolutely, yeah.
I love to write too. And
Yeah.
you don't get to write that often as adults sometimes. You know, everything
Yeah.
is either typed
I
on
mean,
your
we're
phone.
face down generation.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's great too, just for the matter of still
Yeah.
writing. One, to know how to write and remember how to write. But
Yeah.
like you said too, for the benefits of mental health also.